Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sonja J, and I'm back with another Teen Mom Young and Pregnant review. I told you guys I was coming back every week. I meant that, so I'm here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this review with me. Let's get into it. Let's talk. So like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to, comment down below if you agree or disagree. Like I said, I'll be here every week, so get into it. You know, I feel like I thought I had more things to say in the beginning of this video, but I guess I don't, so I guess we can get straight into it. But I will say I will be reacting to the MTV Award performances next, so watch that next if you're into it. But yeah, let's get into this review. Okay, so can we all delay laugh at the fact that Stefan doesn't know his son's actual birthday? I mean, he doesn't know his age. He doesn't know his son's actual age. He knows his birthday, like when his birthday is, but he doesn't know his actual age. Every time he talks about his son's birthday, he says he's 4. Isaiah just turned 3. And it's funny because last week I caught it and I actually wrote it in the notes, but I forgot to say it. And then I watched someone else do a review and then people were saying in the comments and she even forgot to say it. So I was like, no. Then I watched the episode today and even the mom was like, he's 4. And I'm like, okay, now you even telling your mom he's 4 when he's really 3. Get it together, learn his age. So pretty much with Kayla's scene, we start off with her talking to her friend. And she's pretty much giving her a recap of what happened at the party and how Stefan's friend came and pretty much tried to step up or stick up for him and drop off the gift and stuff. Her friend gave her opinion and then pretty much they showed Stefan do the same thing with his friend that actually went to the party and tried to defend him. And his friend pretty much went on a little rant trying to say he felt okay. Trying to say that he feels like, you know, if Stefan or just men in general are trying to see their father, then it's not right for the woman or the mother to stop them because they're trying. As long as he's trying, it shouldn't matter. And if he fucks up, that's on him, but at least he tried. And he feels like he should be allowed to see him whenever he's asking. And then Stefan pretty much was upset with what Luke said and pretty much was saying that he's gonna step up and that's his son and he's his father and Luke's not taking that place. That would be understandable if you were actually doing your part and actually went to court for your son as well, if you really meant that. Highly doubt you're doing either of those things. Also, it's just really funny to me how with misogynoir, and yes, we're going there because usually that's what's behind things like this. When it's a man and he's not doing his part, men always somehow come together and take each other's side even when the guy is wrong. But when it's a woman, everyone including women are able to condemn and see the wrong in what the woman's doing. And this is one of those cases where a man is not doing his part, not taking care of his responsibilities, and then you have his friends, another male friend, pretty much coddling him and pretty much not calling him out on his bullshit because of misogynoir and rose before hoes mentality. Pretty much Kayla's doing her part. Think what you want about the girl, but she seems like a good mom. She's doing her part and it's he's not. And yeah, he's trying when he feels like it, but that's not what is qualifications of a parent. A parent is not supposed to be able to just do what they want and come in and out when they want. That's not what a parent's supposed to do. That's not how it works. So it's that actually could fuck up a child more if you have a fucked up and toxic parent that keeps coming in and destructing your peace and your emotions, rather than just cut them out completely. And then when you're old enough to actually deal with that and you're of age and you actually have more stability in your life, then you can see okay, this is why my dad wasn't around, and get to know him as a grown-up. Because clearly if he's not able to get it together while the kid is in adolescence and growing, then why should he be around him? Why should he have the right to be around him if he's not going to come around like he should and just come in and out back and forth and emotionally damage the child? And then he grows up with this resentment. And yes, you can say, oh well, if he stays out of his life, then he'll grow up with abandonment issues. That's true too. You really don't win either way. But I'm just saying, like I said, you don't win either way. So do you rather have a toxic parent that's in and out and keeps bringing destruction every time they come, or just cut them out completely and deal with that abandonment through therapy with the kid as they grow up, give them stability, and when they grow older they can rekindle that? I mean, thankfully I don't have to deal with that, but I'm just saying, like, if a parent, especially if they're super toxic, or if it affects the child's emotional stability a lot, that the parent keeps coming back and forth, they're not making up their promises like they say they are, they don't come around when they're supposed to, and it like really affects the child, then maybe it is best to cut them out. So like, I don't agree with that toxic mentality of like, well, it doesn't matter, that's your parent, so just deal with it. Or it doesn't matter, like, he's a man trying to see his son, so you know it's wrong of her to not allow him. No, if the father is not doing what he's supposed to, or he's not a good influence, he's not consistent, and it's affecting the child negatively, we're gonna do what's best for the child. So that mentality is like, really, I'm not too here for it. So then Stefan talks to his mom, and she has her opinions about Kayla. And I will say, in Kayla's defense, like, because I'm kind of like this too, and I don't want to say I'm not necessarily like Kayla in the situation, because for the most part I'm better at like speaking how I feel and nipping things in the bud than she is. However, like, I do also have that moment, because I am an introvert. I have moments when I don't pick up people's calls, even like family members and people that I'm close to, and especially people I'm not close to or don't have a relationship with. I don't pick up people's calls if I don't want to, or I don't care to talk to them. I don't answer texts. Like, I don't do it on purpose, but at the same time I do. But it's like, it's not personal. Sometimes people take it personal, and I get it, but it's not personal. It's just more like, if I don't have a relationship with you and I don't know your energy, or like, I don't have a relationship with you, so your energy is not something that I care to have in my life. It's not that I don't like you or I'm upset with you. It's just more like, we just don't have that connection, and I don't care to go out my way to like answer or to see what's going on if what you're saying isn't going to benefit me, and we already don't talk regularly anyway, because most likely you're just going to call to see how I'm doing. That's cute, and then I won't talk to you again for 2 years. That's pointless to me, in my opinion, especially with my introverted ass. Also, I feel like with Kayla, she feels like, just like I'm like this very much. If I don't have a relationship with you, especially if you've done something to me, or you've had toxic traits and toxic ways that affected me negatively, and on top of that we don't have a relationship, blood or not, I'm not going to answer your call if I don't want to. If I don't feel like talking to you, I'm not talking to you. I don't care what you're calling about. I don't care what your reasoning is. If you fucked me over in the past, you've done toxic shit to me, or we don't have, and on top of that we don't have a relationship, I'm not going out my way to answer your calls. I don't care. Like, you already fucked up. That's why we don't talk. I can see if it was like, I just never just fucked with you for no reason, but clearly we know there's a reason with Kayla, and like with me, it's always a reason. So it's like, I understand where she's coming from on that part, but I can also see from her, which is Stefan's mom's side of view, why she feels like that's rude, because it's like, technically it is rude. It is rude, technically it is, but at the same time it's like, when you're a true introvert and you really big on peace and energy, you don't give a fuck. You like, bitch, I don't care, I'll be selfish and rude, but I'm caring about my peace. Clearly it's not going to be peace, and usually when you're in tune with that and your chakra's clear, you know the type of people that's going to bring you rah-rah and that's going to give you peace. And you know, clearly they end up arguing, I think, from what we see in the preview, so it makes sense. And you know, like I said, I understand from experience, so it's like, I get where Kayla's coming from and why she doesn't care to talk to her, but at the same time I can understand why Stefan's mom is offended, because anybody would be offended by that and think that's rude, especially if they're not an introvert and they don't understand the person that they're dealing with. Because some people take things personally, and it's not personal, it's just more of like, I'm just doing what's best for me, it's not about you. That's all. But anyway, so she pretty much reaches out to Kayla and wants to meet up with her. And Kayla says, yeah, but I guess she eventually tells Luke that she's kind of having second thoughts. But I guess she decided to go anyway. So we'll see what happens next week. Okay, so now we're moving on to Brianna. So we're back to more mama drama. I'm going to just say it right here and now. And this is what, I mean, I believe I've said this before in other reviews about like how I feel like, you know, I do, because like last week I said I see where she's coming from, and I do. But I do also see where the mom's coming from. Also, I feel like in previous reviews I've said that Brianna has like kind of like this immature streak that can be annoying. If I didn't say that specifically, I've said it in similar words because I know I've said it before, because she was really showing it tonight. Like, she just acts like a little kid in some ways, and like, I mean, I think we all see why her mom feels like she's not an adult. However, it's like, I don't think that it's necessarily offensive to, I mean, okay, once you have a kid, I can see how you feel like, damn, like anyone who looks at me and thinks I don't act like an adult, that's kind of offensive, because it's like I'm a whole mom. So it's like, what are you talking about? I can see how she can feel that way, but at the same time, it's like, she's really young though. You know, it's not like she's 30. It's not like she's even 25. She's only like, she had Brayson, I think, when she was 17. So I think she's only like 19. So yeah, she's technically 18. She's of age. Well, she's technically legal, but then not really, because you're not 21, you can't drink. So technically she's still in that gray area. So it's like, or maybe she's 20, but she's still pretty young. And it's like, you know, you're not going to have it all figured out at that age, regardless if you have a kid or not. Even when you have a kid at fucking 30, yeah, you're older and you may have your finances more together and you may like know more, but you're still figuring out life. You're still young in this game. And also, it's like, when you become a mom, that's a whole new experience in itself. So it's like, I don't think that she, as well as people in general, should put so much pressure on trying to grow up quicker than they need to, even when you do become a parent. Because it's like, you only live once, you only live one life, and even though you can live up to 100, that's still pretty young compared to the thousands of years that this world has been around. Girl, millions of, I don't even know, billions of years this world has been around, whatever. But it's like, really, we don't live long lives. So it's like, anything we do in this life, just like, live it up, be gracious, as long as you're not hurting and harming people. Like, you know, just be the best you can and live your life. And I just feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's just like, I don't think she should be so hung up on the fact that she wants to feel like she's so grown. If you want to feel grown, be that. Don't just want to be called grown just to be called grown. Like, stop trying to get approval from your mom and just do what's best for you. Like, get the job like you said, save up so you can move out and do what's best for you. And as time goes on, you'll do what you need to do and it'll just prove itself. You don't have to like keep trying to get this approval from your mom or from everyone else like that thinks you're grown. Like, you'll be grown once you do grown shit. Like, just don't dwell on it. But in regards to their argument, I do see both sides, but Brianna was acting like a fucking big ass kid this week, and like, I don't get it. Like, when she was like, what did she say when she was like, oh, I'm not talking to you, or something like that, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, okay, now let me clarify real quick. Well, before I even clarify, also, then when we go to the park, she was like, I'm not sitting at that bench, I'm sitting over here, I'm not sitting by you, or something like that, she said. And it's just like, girl, that is so childish. Like, are you 12? Now, I will say this to clarify. I do not think there's anything wrong with setting boundaries and cutting people off, even your own flesh and blood, even your own mother, your own dad, your own sister, your own kids sometimes. Like, whoever it needs to be, especially if they're adults. More specifically, we're talking about adults. That's like, you know, not good for your mental or your peace or whatever. And I think there's nothing wrong cutting people off or letting people know, like, I'm not talking to you, so I don't want you to speak to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, even your own mother. However, in this situation, in this episode, it came off childish because, one, she sounded childish when she said it. Two, it was like, you guys live together. It'd be different if it was like, you guys don't live together, you don't see each other, and it was like, you happen to see each other at an event and then she tried to speak to you when it was like, in your head, you're like, you already know I don't talk to you, so you're letting it be clear before she even tried to walk up to you and hug you, like, I'm not talking to you. Because it's like, you can tell she's trying to walk up to you and talk to you or hug you, and you're like, I already told you I'm not talking to you. So it's like, you say it again before she comes to you or something like that. I can see, but it's like, you guys live together, so it's kind of pointless to like do the silent treatment thing. And if you're gonna do it, don't be childish about it, because obviously you're gonna get over it. And it's just like, you keep saying you want to be adult so bad, and this is what she means when she says, not really you're there, not really you're not there yet. Because it's like, that's not really something adults say and do and act like, at least not the ones that are mature. Like, it came off very childlike. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with cutting people off, setting boundaries, letting them know you're not speaking to them, but it's just like the way she said it came off childlike. And it wasn't like, and also another thing too is like, not only they live together, but it's not even like their argument was so bad that it was just like she deserved the silent treatment for days or weeks. I feel like I can see if her mother disrespected her or said some out of line shit or did some out of line shit, then I can see her saying something like that. And also if she said it seriously and didn't sound like a child when she said it, but it just like came off real kiddish. You guys live together and the argument wasn't even that bad. So it's like, I believe in cutting people off, but for the right reasons. And I feel like with their sister or with her sister, they be putting that girl in the middle all the time. And I just think sometimes it can be toxic when you have a dynamic of people that are all in the same situation and they keep going back and forth to each other to tell each other about each other. Like that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It is healthy to gossip a little bit, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when it's like you have that person or persons in the group that likes to like be messy with it. So you always gotta be careful with that. But you know, it looks like the sister be in the middle and she be trying to agree both of them, but at the same time be like, girl, I'm going home with my boyfriend at the end of the day, so I'm gonna just say okay, and then take my keys and go. Okay, so now we're talking about Kylea, but real quick before we get into her, well, get into this week, I want to say I forgot that Tease had cheated on her when her dad died. I said last week that I felt like Kylea is the hothead, and I feel like Kylea went too hard on Tease about the whole text situation with talking to other people. I do still agree with that sentiment. However, when I remembered that there's a history of cheating in this relationship and it's on Tease's part, and the fact that not only did she cheat on her while they were together, but she cheated on her literally the week she found out that her dad died. That's something that you don't forget regardless of if you forgive it or not. And you know, even though it's not the reason, it doesn't make it like an excuse necessarily, you know, for like her deciding to become a teen mom, but it happens. And you know, when they broke up, she found someone else and it happened. So it is what it is. But you know, I do think in I keep saying Tease, I do think in Kylie's eyes, she really, what was I saying? Oh, I do think in Kylie's eyes, she really thinks that if Tease wouldn't have cheated on her, she probably honestly would have never hooked up with dude and had baby boy. And I'm not saying she regrets it, but I'm just saying like she probably thinks that, who knows, but that's literally what happened. And like I said last week, like when someone cheats, you don't forget that shit. So it's just like, and especially when they're pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant when she cheated, but I'm just saying like, you know, but her father died. So that's a different type of hurt. So, you know, so I feel like Kylea feels like she has the right in a lot of ways to go off sometimes. I'm not saying she does. I'm just saying that's what she probably thinks, because it's like she probably holds some resentment towards her because she cheated on her. Nobody forgets that shit. I told y'all. That's what I'm saying. Just don't. When people, I'm telling you, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I get it. People do make mistakes. People do things that they don't mean. And I understand people can change. But sometimes, most of the time, honestly, they don't. So it's just like, instead of just dealing with the hurt for years and years and years, and then eventually later finding out, okay, I don't think this is gonna work, and then wasting all that time, you could have just been moved on, and you could have just been having options so that eventually one of them hoes would have stuck. But I wish the best for their relationship. I just realized that because, you know, I don't want to give Kylea too much heat for being a hothead, because I understand that once something like that happens, it's kind of hard to pretty much like trust them. But at the same time, it's like, what's the point of being with somebody if you can't do that? That's why it's like, once somebody cheats, just be done. Or if you're gonna be with them, you gonna have to really hold it down. But shit, ain't nobody worth holding her down these streets. But the mom and I keep wanting to call Kylea Tease. I don't know why, but I keep wanting to call her Tease. But his mom and Kylea don't get along. And pretty much every time they meet up, they argue. So she wants to allow her son, to be around his grandmother, which is her baby daddy's mother, but they don't get along. So she's pretty much, you know, I guess getting advice about that from her mom and talking about that with her, Tease. And then she also seen her friend and talked to her about that as well. And her friend pretty much said like she feels like she should try because she's going to have to deal with her regardless, and gave her advice. And then, you know, pretty much Kylea decided to call her, and so they're supposed to meet up. So I think we're going to see that next week, and then we're going to see how that goes. Real quick, I want to say this because I feel like sometimes your friends or just people in general's advice can be detrimental to someone's peace and their health and their livelihood. Like, I feel like when it comes to people that are toxic, regardless if they're family, if they're blood, I just feel like we need to start normalizing when it's appropriate to cut them off. Like, I feel like a lot of the times whenever, like, because I see it all the time, like in person, on TV, you know, just all the time, whenever someone's going through a hard time and like they're going through a hardship and it's like really like fucked up situation, and the person or persons that's causing the hardship is like a family member, and it's like a close family member, like a mother or a father or a sibling or a baby daddy or a mother-in-law, and they're doing some really fucked shit that's like harmful and hurting that person, and it's been going on for years. And then whenever they talk to their friend or their homie or their lover about the situation and they ask for advice, the thing that the person always says is, well, you gonna have to deal with them, cause that's your baby daddy, that's your mother-in-law, that's your mama, that's your daddy, that's your son. You gonna have to deal with them forever. So you might as well get along and deal with it and be the bigger person. No. You know, bless the friend's heart. I'm not trying to get on the friend. I'm just speaking in general. Like, I feel like I'm so tired of people normalizing trying to mend toxic relationships. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's my mom. I don't give a fuck if it's my daddy. And I'm sorry if my children grow up to be heathens. We gonna have to cut it too. Like, I'm not saying I'll disown them, but I'm just saying, like, if I have to, you know, cut them off for a little bit just to get my peace until they get their shit together, I want to do that. Like, it is what it is. I don't believe in mending toxic relationships, especially when they consistently keep showing you who they are and then keep saying, please believe me, please believe me. And you won't believe them, and then you're asking your friends and your mammy and your pappy and your Sammy and your lover and your friend about advice, and then they all say, well, I'm just tired of hearing that, because it's like sometimes people just need a break from people. Sometimes people need to be cut off for a couple years, couple months, regardless if they're kin or not, because you disrespectful, and I'm not allowing that in my life, and I'm not gonna allow my kid to think that's okay and that's normal. It is not normal for a child to see their grandmother cuss their mom out. That's not normal. We're not normalizing that over here. It's not normal for a grandmother, whether it's her mother or her baby daddy's mother, to call her out her name and she's underage. It is not normal for a grown-ass woman who is a grandmother allowing her grandson to see or even just know that she tried to fight his mother. That shit's not normal, and that's not okay. And it's happened more than 2 times. Like, so no. I'm not allowing that behavior. You get it together, you figure it out, you change your ways, show some consistency, and then we can grow from there. If you can't even meet me that far, then we have nowhere to go, shawty. I don't believe in just like mending and trying to rebuild and build toxic relationships just for the fuck of that's my grandma, that's my mama, and that's my pappy. Like, that's not a good enough for me. It's just not. Like, it's not. Alright, so now we're here with Rachel. So Rachel pretty much is telling us that her baby daddy's still in jail, I believe, or is he in rehab? I forgot, but he's somewhere. And she hasn't heard much from him, so she's pretty much trying to focus on what her next move is, and she wants to move out. She wants to get her own place. She's tired of being with her mom. She's tired of arguing. I have to burp. Their relationship is toxic, so I'm not surprised. So she's pretty much just trying to get on some type of plan to figure out how to get out. She talks to her sister. We see Mallory, so hey, she's back. And Mallory and her are both on the same page, so they talk about moving out. So Rachel decides to let her mom know, and her mom weirdly says that this is if she were to move out, that would be the biggest or the dumbest mistake she ever made. I want to know how. Really. Like, even if you don't agree with them moving in together, I think it's a fat stretch to say that this is the dumbest mistake that she would be making. Yeah. But with that being said, she doesn't agree. Now, I feel like with that in itself, it's like, even if she doesn't agree for whatever her reasons are, I mean, it's probably because they argue a lot. They probably do argue a lot. Maybe they even fought once or twice. So maybe that's why she thinks it's not a good idea. And okay, but then it's like, even if she believes that's the reason, I still feel like the way she said it and how she said it, and it's with the quickness though, like, it did come off negatory. I don't know if that's a real word, but it came off negative. And it did come off like either she was like, I don't want to say jealous, but maybe she just doesn't want Rachel to go. So maybe that's why she's like, no, like, why would you move? Like, you don't need to move out. Maybe that was why she automatically tried to like say something to shut it down, because it's like she doesn't want her to go. But it did come off negative, regardless if it's because she doesn't want her to go or what, but it came off negative. And then it's also like not her biggest mistake. And then also too, it's just like, I think that it would be good for Rachel to get on her own. And even if she bumps her head, I mean, I think who better than it to be with her sister? I mean, I'd rather her bump her head with her sister than a stranger. And then also it's just like, I mean, she is a mom now and she's 18, so it's like she needs to learn how to spread her wings sometime soon. So, you know, I don't really see a problem with it. But it's just like the way they argue, I get it, it's generational. I know there's there's toxicity. Girl, that word is just like rent-free in my mind, because bitch, this show and just people in general, whew, that is the only word I can use these days, bitch. I didn't like how they was arguing in front of the baby. I'm not surprised though, they're used to that, but I'm just saying, like, y'all gonna have to learn how to argue with the doors closed, or like make a schedule when you're gonna argue during the day, like during the kids' nap times or something. Because I just be thinking to myself, like, why? And I know nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am. You know, every adult argues. Every now and again, you're gonna argue in front of your kid, whether it be with your partner or it be with your parent or your sister or whatever. But it doesn't need to be normalized. It doesn't need to be every day or regularly. And save the juicy arguments, like the fuck you does, for when the kids are asleep or when they're at school. Like, I just feel like, could we like change? And I feel like Rachel is trying, but there are some big things that are kind of obvious. At least to me, I think they're obvious, and I get it. She's used to this, so to her it's not, but to me it's just like, it's so obvious. So it's just like, I see you're trying, Rachel, but we're gonna have to try harder with some of these like generational toxic ways and views and the way we talking and acting. Like, you know, nobody's perfect, but we don't have to like in front of the 1 and 2 year olds. Like, you know, it's not even like they're 8 and 10. It's like they're 1 and 2, and you're like like, that shit is not healthy in front of a kid, like regularly too. Like, nah. But you know, the girls couldn't even move in together anyway because they can't afford it. So we'll see what happens next week. But something's gotta give. So lastly, we have Madison. So pretty much she's still broken up with her boyfriend, or I keep saying boyfriend, her ex, her baby daddy, so that's good. He's still kind of like I mean, I guess he's harassing her if he's hitting her at first and then saying these vile things. So yeah, and he's pretty much, you know, just being a jerk, like jerks do. And so she's just talking to all her friends, letting them know she's done with them, and she's trying to figure out her life and figure out a plan. You can tell she's also kind of still going through the motions, which is understandable. She's a new mom and she's doing it on her own. And then on top of that, not only is he not helping with the baby, but he romantically fucked up and broke her heart. So it's just like, it's understandable. And then she's just trying to figure things out. She's trying to figure out if she wants to go to school. She's working, so how that's gonna work. And then he's not doing his part at all. So that's not good, but are we surprised? Hopefully he'll change, but it's just not fair, you know? It just sucks to see. That's why I really just hate that so many women are so easily gullible to falling in love so quickly with boys that they barely know. And so easily gullible to allowing these boys to like come and get them pregnant so quickly. Because it's just like, these boys will leave you this quick. And we see it over and over again. History fucking repeats itself. So it's just like, I don't, and I'm not talking about masculine specifically, I'm just speaking in general. Sometimes I try not to be judgmental. And I'm really not judgmental, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like the sympathy card, I can't really feel sorry for a lot of people. Men included, because y'all are out here having babies too. Y'all just don't have to take care of them and aren't forced with having them on your hip, so you don't get the blame like we do. But it's like, it's just so annoying seeing people just constantly having these kids and then complaining about being single parents or needing help, because it's like the signs were there. Okay, I'm sorry, they were. And it's just like you know, and it's just like, I understand things happen, believe me, I do. But some of y'all know damn well that y'all be motherfucking not caring, okay? It's one thing, the first kid, maybe even second, but once y'all hit 5 and 6, y'all know goddamn well y'all don't give a fuck. So don't complain about shit, but y'all still do. So it's just like, I can't feel sorry for people that constantly keep having kids and constantly keep putting themselves in these relationships, situationships, baby daddy, baby mama dramas, and they want to cry about it. But it's like, you keep doing this. Like, you can easily fucking come in a cup. You don't have to, I mean, not fuck the cup, but you get what I'm saying? Like, fuck and then come on the boot, come somewhere else. You don't have to get the bitch. You don't have to. Like, you don't have to do it, but you do it. But then, and then you complain. Like, it makes no sense to me. It don't. Like, and like, we all fuck. So it's like, if I could do it, you could do it too. It's preventable. But y'all don't give a fuck, so don't complain. LOL, I went on a little mama rant, but it is what it is. Like, girl, y'all be complaining, but then it be like, the signs be there, the red flags be there, like, and y'all just be ignoring them hoes. So I can't. Like this video if you like it though. Subscribe if you want to. I'll be back with more videos like this every week. Told you guys I'm back with it. So like, support your girl. You know, we was here. I know this season came out the blue. I don't even know if a lot of people are fucking with it like they were the last 2 seasons, because I don't think the ratings are the same as they were. But you know, it is what it is. If you fuck with the show, if you fuck with me, watch, like, subscribe if you want to. Comment down below if you agree or disagree. Let me know how you feel. And I'll see you guys soon, because I have more videos coming.